Here you see this spinnerette has multiple holes present in it. But if we want to do the monofilament spinning, where only one filament is involved, in that case we do not want many holes. We can, with only one hole, the well spinning can be done. For especially for coarser type of yarns, when we want to use some higher deniers like 15 or 20 type of a higher deniers, then in the case only one hole is sufficient where the coarser yarn can be made by using the monofilament spinning. But if you want to do the multi-filament spinning, in that case we need the multiple holes, so that you can see there are multiple holes here as I have already explained you. These holes have very smaller diameter of say 0.5 to 1 millimeter if it is for a monofilament. But for the multi-filament the diameter is very small, like zero point 0.5 to 0.05 millimeter, so that multiple filaments can be spun at a time. Normally these spinnerette holes have multiple holes like 2000, 3000, 5000, up to maximum 10,000 holes also is possible to be there in the spinnerette plate. So here you see these, though there are multiple holes are present, the filaments can come out as the fluid can enter inside the spinnerette plate and exit as an extruded strand without sticking to each other. Here, though there are multiple holes are present, the extruded filaments that is coming out of exiting from the spinnerette plate, they can be wound together on the bobbin, so that they are kept in a staggered fashion. You can see this, they are kept in a staggered fashion so that one filament will not stick to the other filament. It is kept in such a way. Now, the next device which we are going to see is the quench chamber or the quench duct. Here in the spinner, by the spinnerette we produce the extruded strand, that is the filament we have already produced. That filament which is produced is still hot. It is still a fluid only, and it is hot. It has to be solidified, then only we will get the dried filament. Otherwise it is still in the semi-solid rubbery form. So in that case what we need to do is we have to first dry out that filament by passing a cooling air of say around 15 to 30 degrees centigrade. Cooling air has to be passed through the filament so that this filament will get cooled and then it will reach the less temperature. Normally the melting temperature of the polymer will be so high. For example, if you take polyester, the polyester melting temperature is 265 degrees centigrade. And the glass transition of the polyester is 80 degrees centigrade. So once the polymer, after passing the cooling air, it converts from the melting temperature will get reduced to the crystallization temperature. Say crystallization temperature will be definitely lesser than the melting temperature where the crystals are formed, and when it's further reduced it will become a solid, that is from the rubbery state, where in the melting, during the melting temperature the polymer will be in the rubbery state, and once it is cool air is passed through it, it will reach the glass transition temperature where the polymer will transform from rubbery state to the glassy state. So once this temperature is reached, then we say that the spinning is said to be complete. So how this quenching is done? If you observe this diagram, you can see there are two types of quenching. One is the cross flow quenching and another is the radial flow quenching. Here cross flow means here the air passes at the side in the cross direction, so that this cross flow is used when you have a limited number of filaments. So that here the understanding is when the air passes from only one side, it will go to the other side also, so that it gets cooled. However, if you have multiple spinnerette holes where there is a multi-filament yarn is there, in that case this cross flow will not be that useful, because if there are multiple filaments are present, then whatever air that is flowing at one side will definitely get cooled, but that after cooling it, the heat whichever is dissipated, that will pass through the other side of the filament yarns, so that it will get further heated. So there is of no use. So if you want to if you want to quench the multi-filament yarns, for that you have to go for the radial flow. You can see there are in radial flow there are two types. One is the out of flow and another is the inflow. Out of flow means where the air is passed at this center, so that once it is passed at this center, it will move towards the radius of the spinnerette. You can see here through the radius of the spinnerette, so that the all the side or the complete all the filaments get cooled. There is another type of a flow called as the inflow. This is the out of flow and this is the inflow. In inflow means where the air enters the periphery at the surface, outside the surface at the edges, it enters inside through the radius of this and it gets cooled. For any kind of a delicate type of a yarns, this kind of a radial flow is much preferred. And here this quench duct is one of the important device. Any kind of a change that happens here, say for example there is 1% change in the air velocity, that will bring about 0.3% change in the cross sectional area of the filament. So that has to be taken care of. The air velocity is important in the quench duct chamber. Now once the filament gets solidified in the quench duct chamber, it next passes through the spin finish applicator. Here the spin finish is also very important, because once we produce the extruded strand, that should have the proper lubrication or anti-static property, and the anti-static property, because it's a man-made fiber, it has to pass, it is a man-made fiber, so that there is a problem of static electricity problem, so that this spin finish is provided to reduce the static charges. First important role is it should provide the lubrication, so that since the yarn, once the extruded strand is produced, it will pass through some metallic or ceramic parts, so that it should have a good lubrication, so that it should reduce the friction, so that it should be properly lubricated. So for that what we are doing is we apply the spin finish after it passes out from the quench duct. This spin finish also provides the anti-static property, so that any kind of a static charges that are generated due to the contact with the yarn and the machine parts, because of the difference in the charges, there will be the static charge generation, so that because of the we use the spin finish, this anti-static property we get. And next is the cohesion we get because it keeps the filament together, so that you can easily unwind it from the spun kit. So what is the spin finish? This spin finish is basically an oil. It will contain two components. One is the aliphatic or alkyl chain components, which provides the lubrication. Okay, and another is the surfactant. Surfactant means like a surface active agent, which will be like a detergent, so that through the surfactant you get the introduction of this anti-static property. Because of the presence of the hydrogen bonding, you get the anti-static property, and because of the presence of aliphatic or alkyl chain molecules, that is hydrophobic in nature, because it is like a softener where both the hydrophilic and the hydrophobic parts are there, so that the hydrophobic part is the one which gives the lubrication like an oil, and another is the hydrophilic part, which will like water, so that once from the system where the surfactant, where the water comes introduced, this static problem, charge generation problems are removed. So this spin finish will contain two components, so you keep a balance of both the hydrophilic and the hydrophobic components in the spin finish chemical, so that you will get all the lubrication, anti-static and cohesion properties. And finally, after the spin finish is applied, when it exits from the quench duct, Any kind of a method we can use to apply the spin finish, like we can use a kiss roll or a spray method, that we will see in detail when we discuss about spin finish application in detail as a separate chapter. Finally, we have come to the take-up winder. Take-up winder is something where the filament is already produced, it is solidified, spin finish is applied, so that we are going to wind it now on the bobbin. Normally, the yarn is not directly wound. It is, we use certain gaudet rollers. Gaudet roller means something like a two different small rollers. We use these two gaudet rollers, and then we will finally wound the yarn on the bobbin. Why we are not directly winding it? Because we intentionally do it because when the yarn is directly wound, so that what will happen is the winding tension will be very high when it exits the spin finish chamber, and when you directly wind it, the winding tension will be very high, and it will not be comfortably wound. In that case, what we do is we intentionally break the vertical path of the yarn, so that it is passed through some two three gaudet rollers, and then it is finally wound on the bobbin. Normally, when you do the winding, during the winding, some sort of a orientation is obtained in the yarn. But in order to improve the more orientation, because the molecules get properly aligned, if you want to improve the orientation, in that case, what you do is a process called drawing. Because normally the man-made fiber manufacture involves the spinning, then drawing, then heat setting, then texturizing. Then only the man-made fiber manufacturing is complete. So here, during the take-up's time itself, you can do the drawing. When you use some two godets, so that simultaneously you can do the spinning and also the drawing. Drawing is nothing but a unidirectional stretching of the yarns. So here you can use some two godet rollers to do the drawing also. Here, if you observe, there are two types of a take-up. One is the friction type of a winder, and another is the motor driven winders. One is a friction driven and another is the motor driven. Friction driven means first it will pass through certain friction rollers where the winders will be friction driven, so that the surface speed of the winder will remain constant and the yarn package will get formed. But nowadays, these friction driven rollers are replaced by the motor driven rollers with the automatic feedback mechanism, especially in the high speed spinning plants. And also, when you use a friction driven roller, because of the presence of these friction driven rollers, there are the chance of yarn getting abraded, so that the yarn will get ruptured out. So in that case, it is better to go with the motor driven rollers, so that by using this motor driven rollers, the yarn can be wound in the high speed spinning plants. Because of this motor driven roller, the advantage is once the yarn starts building over the bobbin, and when the diameter of the yarn package gets increased, the winding speed is regulated by the automatic feedback mechanism. That is, the tension is winding speed is properly controlled by using this motor driven winder, by this automatic feedback mechanism that is placed here, so that the yarn will get properly wound over the bobbin. Now we will see a small animation that will entirely explain how the melt spinning is done. You can see here each and every section will be showed. This is the extruder which I have already explained you, where the polymer chips is introduced inside, and there inside you can see the angle of the extruder. It passed through the metering pump and the static mixture, and finally it moves out through the spinnerate. Once it exits the spinnerate, then it moves this is the quenching zone where it is dried, and finally it moves to the take up. Here a brief description is shown. Here it passes through some two rollers, it breaks the vertical path, you can see here. And you see the winding here, the winding is not vertically wound, you can see it is like a zigzag form of a winding. Just observe this portion, you can see the zigzag portion of the winding is so that it is comfortably wound, so that the winding tension is maintained. So that's all about the mill spinning. I hope you have now clearly understood what is mill spinning. Go through all these slides. I will stop here. Thanks for listening. Have a nice day.